Hi guys, my name is Mackenzie.
My name is Kennedy.
My name is Kenzie Jarnigan and I'm co-founder of the app Ballot Binge. Welcome to the Founders Lab.
Our app Ballot Binge was all about tackling misinformation. We wanted a way for young voters to be able to engage with local and national elections while getting nonpartisan information easily.
I'm a journalism and mass communication and business sustainability student. My job for Ballot Binge was kind of thinking of the idea, developing what exactly the execution would be, and then also advertising and marketing. So coming up with our logo and kind of how we wanted to spread the word.
I'm a double major in political science and history, so my job with this app was to make sure that everything was correct, timely, relevant, appropriate to be featured on the app. That's a very difficult job, but I think my skill set and my majors set me up to just make sure this app was politically correct as best as possible in today's day and age. As well as I ran all the marketing for the app. So I did all of the social media accounts, any sort of outreach. It was definitely a good mix of all of my abilities.
Senior, double majoring in data science and anthropology. My job was actually developing the app, so I had to take Kenzie's political science needs and Kennedy's market needs and put them into one extremely user-friendly app so that people could get their voter information easily. It took a lot of work to actually code our app and make sure that it was really user-friendly. It was a Tinder-style swipe interface where you could swipe to like and dislike candidates, as well as an area where you can view all of the candidates that you actually liked, so that when election day rolls around, you have a whole list of all the people you liked and why.
So I kind of came up with the idea during the summer of my junior year. I was working at Fox News here in Tempe, and I found that during the 2024 presidential election and also the local election here, not a lot of people were informed on kind of their choices or even the propositions or really anything to do with the election. It was just what their political party was or really who they heard the most about or on social media and other things like that. So I kind of took this idea and I thought that there had to be a better way to do this and to inform the people, young and old. Once I presented my idea to Kenzie and Kenzie, we all decided that we wanted to make this app unbiased, unpartisan, so all voters can feel included and really knowledgeable about all different topics. So I handed it off to Kenzie Jarnigan to handle that.
The true challenge with the politics in this app, or really any politics, modern day today, is remaining completely neutral. So that was definitely an interesting challenge for me, as a political science major, to navigate with this creation of this app. We basically just tried to remain as neutral as possible, make sure any information source is from neutral primary documents, nothing that's coming from opinion pieces or known bias networks, because that just lets that bias seep into our app, which is what we're absolutely trying to avoid. It's the whole intention of creating something like this. And we really found that the sweet spot for just this app in development was narrowing it down to local elections, because those tend to have less national coverage, which means typically less bias today. And also it's just easier for us to gather information, make it relevant to local voters. You have to scale down your project to something that's truly doable and attainable. And for us, that was local elections. So we found that navigating propositions and politicians locally was a lot easier to source that information that we were looking for that was neutral and non-biased. So it helped us retain the integrity of our app.
One of our biggest challenges with this app is actually once we decided to hone it down to local elections. And so it was kind of a big job to essentially figure out how to store all of our user information and then exactly how to match them with candidates that they actually will like and want to vote for, as well as ones that are actually applicable to them. So think about local mayor races, town council races, and all that kind of stuff, and just how to pull nonpartisan information on elections that don't really have a lot of public information on them.
I think the biggest part of the Founders Lab is being able to work and change your project as you go. I think one of our biggest challenges was we constantly wanted to make this bigger and more and better. And well, that's awesome and you can dream all day. You have to stick with what's realistic. We wanted to add chat rooms, features, different pages. We originally started with a website, in fact. We wanted to just do a website of just political information, and we kind of, as we went on and got user feedback and user interaction, we realized that an app is way more accessible, more people know how to navigate it as well, and it was just simpler to stick with the personal voter guide, the Tinder style swiping, like those were all more attainable than some crazy website with all these different things. So it was definitely narrowing our scope was one of the bigger challenges, because we all love to have creative minds and think outside the box.
So my advice for really finding an idea that you guys can fall in love with and really be passionate about is just to think about your career and what your teammates' career is going to be also, and just think about how you can incorporate everyone into it so they can all feel included and really just feel passionate about your project.
My biggest advice with Founders Lab is that you're a diverse group on purpose. You're supposed to disagree. You're supposed to have different skill sets. Everyone's supposed to bring something different to the table, and that's what makes us such like a beautiful project and place to learn and grow.
I think that when you think of making an app, a lot of people think about writing like thousands of lines of code and having to figure out all this really crazy technical stuff, but that's what the beauty of Founders Lab is, that you really just get to bring your idea to life in a way that suits you, what you have and like your skills. And so that was one of definitely the highlights, was being able to see our app come to life without really having to have extensive technical knowledge about app building.
So our fun fact is that we actually started out as roommates. So I live with these girls. The Ballot Binge team was actually born in our apartment. We attended mixers, definitely the Founders Lab held to look for other people, but when it came down to it, this team right here, you weren't beating this dream team, so we knew that. But it added a layer of challenge to the product too, because you have to hold your roommates and friends accountable to deadlines, and when you have disagreements, you have to live with them. Luckily, we had a dream team situation, and I love these girls, and I think our team is perfect. But our situation was a little bit different than the Founders Lab typically presents.
Yeah, I agree. And seriously, even if you don't know anyone going into it, don't be scared. Attend those mixers and really try to meet as many people as you can, so you can really make sure that you build a team that you like and you really love and work well together.
Seriously, don't focus too much on if your interests, skill sets, majors, whatever that may be, align. We clearly all have different majors, interests, skill sets, and that worked out beautifully for the Ballot Binge team. And so I would really, follow Kennedy's advice. Make sure that you find people there that you really find yourself you can become passionate about a project with them and work well with them, and not necessarily people that you're the most similar to.
Good luck with the Founders Lab this year. Love the Ballot Binge team.